So when you look at coaches, a lot of young coaches coming up would love to accomplish what you've accomplished, and you've done it you've had your path, and challenging path. Some guys bounce and move from jobs. You were with the Vikings for 14 years. You got an opportunity to go there. I remember back in Philly, you kind of came in as a young guy and got your start. But everybody's path is different. But when you hire coaches or you look at coaches, you kind of see, what do you look for in coaches? What do you value in coaches?
Yeah, I want, similar to players, we want smart and tough. We want smart and hardworking. And I think when you have that, you have a person that is going to develop. I think so much for us is just getting the right people in the building. And with my experience, and I know you're the same way, Harbs, is when you have your job, whatever your job is, do that job that you have to the best of your ability.
Right.
And I think that everything else takes care of itself. And sometimes a lot of us are ambitious and people want that next job right away. Just do the job you have. Do it the best you can.
So you watch those guys, and there's nothing wrong with ambition, right? There's nothing wrong with, I would say, aspiration. Sometimes there's a difference between aspiration and ambition.
Right.
I don't know if it's subtle or if it makes a difference, but you kind of know it when you see it. So, whether it's a professional coach at this level, a college coach, a high school coach, junior high coach, or a pee-wee coach, what do you think separates the really good coaches from the guys that you'd like to see do a little better?
The ones that care. I mean, think about that coach that you had from any level, grade school, high school. Think about the one that put his arm around you at the end of a hard practice or at the end of a tough game, or congratulated you after a great game. I think the coaches that make personal connections that are real are the ones that we remember.
So then you're kind of coaching your coaches too, right? And you're trying to develop those guys too. How do you go about that? I mean, you're talking about guys at the highest level, a lot of pressure, everybody's under scrutiny, and they're doing a lot of great things, and I'm sure you encourage them. But there's also times where there's things that they need to improve upon. How do you approach those guys?
Constructive criticism, and it's so important. I think it's very easy to criticize, and you and I know that comes with the territory, but what can you do with that? What is actionable about that criticism? And I tell our coaches all the time, I'm going to give you some pointers, I'm going to point some things out, I'm going to ask you to do certain things. You may not like it in the moment, but I'm doing it for a reason, and it's ultimately to make our coaches better, to make our players better, and to make us better. But the art of receiving criticism, there's something to it. And I think when you can put egos aside, it makes it easier.
Yeah, guys that want to grow and do want to get better usually take it pretty well, right?
That's right, and it's about respect. And if we have a relationship and we respect each other, I can give you that hard coaching. I can give you that tough love that maybe you need.
One thing I think people have said about you too is you talked about coaches caring about their players. And you've always cared about your coaches, right? So if they have a sense that you're coming from that perspective, you want them to be great, they know that you care about them. That's why you're talking to them that way.
I think you have to be so intentional about giving your coaches opportunities to develop. And I came up in this profession, and I was so fortunate to stay in one spot for all those years. And I was around different coaches and different philosophies and different ways of doing things. You have to be proactive in your own development. You're going to learn by osmosis. I'm sitting in the back of the room in 2009, and I'm the assistant, or I was a quality control coach, the assistant quarterback coach, if you will. And there's Kevin Rogers up at the front of the room coaching the quarterbacks. Brett Favre's in there, Tavares Jackson's in there, Sage Rosenfeld's, and I'm way in the back. And it's all just osmosis. I just want to learn as much as I can. And then it's incumbent on those young coaches that now get out of your comfort zone. Go sit with the defensive line coach. Go sit with the special teams coordinator. Find out more about this game and be proactive in your development.